hate it.
Yeah, we definitely not about to do no fighting. And me and my last mentee, we just was talking about that. Like, it's so aggressive. It kind of turns people off because, everybody don't have that in them. You know what I'm saying? To
I get,
push like that.
yeah. Well, so yeah, and I'm just doing like I'm dealing with the DMV and all this stuff, but I'm like, you know what? I know how to pay now, so like, why
Right.
just like,
So it's
but
kind of like one of them things where it's like, well, I'm gonna give you what you want.
yes, but so I'm still struggling with privacy, and I guess that's what you mean by knowing your roles and how to play it. So I really want to talk to you about that after too, while we during the mentorship. I want to learn how to really master the roles.
That's going to be something that you have to learn. I can't tell you how to be who you have to be. I could just give you the information. You have to literally take the information and be what is inscribed. I can't teach you how to be that.
I guess, well, I just want privacy. Like, I don't want to be stopped, even though I know how to pay and it's a charge and it's money coming for it. Like, I still want to go private with the private plates. I don't want to be hassled.
Oh, okay. Yeah, see, I don't have private plates. I don't do any of that. I'll take my ticket if I get a ticket. So I don't have any private plates. I don't have anything sovereign or separate from the United States. Nothing. I share my birth certificate with them. I share my social security card with them. I share everything with them. I have nothing sovereign, nothing separate from the United States. Everything I have is 100% shared with the United States.
Okay.
So I wouldn't be a teacher for you for that. The People's Remedy, have you ever heard of him?
Yes.
He may can help you with that because I do see he have all type of private stuff. Don Keelam, he might can help you with that because he do have a lot of private stuff everywhere. Them gonna be your people. I work with the United States. I don't stand alone.
Okay, I guess that's how it is. I want to learn how to work with them so I don't feel like I have to.
Do all of that.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's up to you what you want to do. Like they doing what they want to do. You can do that too. But I'm just not sovereign from the United States.
The
I'm an
only,
individual, and that's what makes me sovereign from them. But far as not contracting with them, no, I still contract with them.
okay. I guess because it's right, it's all voluntary. You just have to know how to contract.
Yeah, it's either
When
you
it's,
want to, right? It's either you want to or you don't. If you don't want to contract with them, then get out of it. That means you know how to use the EIN, you know how to set up all your own stuff, you know how to live on your own.
mm-hmm.
Other than that, they put in place so they can do it for you. And they're
Okay.
going to benefit. Anybody who do a job for another person is going to want something in return because that is the element of contracting. Offer, acceptance, and consideration. They want something to consider.
All right. Yeah, I'm learning. Oh my gosh.
So you are learning. So focus in on the information. I know that you want to do a lot, but you have to focus on the information so that you can do it. You
Yeah.
cannot sit there because you know a little bit. You can't do that. You
No.
can, but then you're going to end up in a world of shit.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
Because that's what's happening as I run into all these people and they do follow the Moors and the sovereigns and they get to change and stuff. They don't know what the freak they done did. And they
Yeah.
begging to get their social back or they can't or just some crazy, insane
Oh,
stuff.
crap. Yeah, no, no, not that. But yeah.
So it's completely up to you because obviously Don Keelam do it without a problem. The People's Remedy have did it without a problem. You know what I'm saying? So it's up to you. And I'm pretty sure there's a lot more people or indigenous people who just like them.
Mhm.
I just, I love the land, but not enough to not want to share it.
Mhm. Yeah,
So that's.
that's the thing. It's knowing that you can share and that they want you at the table. It's just you don't know how to sit at the table.
You just don't know how to share at the table because you want to offer yourself because you feel like you a god. Cool. You can feel like you a god and still get along with other gods.
Hmm.
Nobody is mad that somebody is benefiting off of them unless they're not benefiting themselves. And that's where the problem come in. For a lot of people, you know how many people don't know what I know and not benefiting? They pissed at the US. Meanwhile, I'm not.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, so your story's really stuck at me lately, been sticking more.
Yeah, it's like, who are you? Like, if you who you are, nobody can change that. Nobody can put a title on you and deem you nothing that you're not, unless you allow them. Like,
Okay.
I'm an individual in all situations, so it doesn't matter what situation occur. I'm attacking that situation, especially if I'm using the documents with the same element of contracting and I'm
Right?
abiding by the Uniform Commercial Code. I'm not doing anything
Exactly.
different.
Yeah, everything comes down to that.
Exactly. Even when they separate themselves, how do they do it? On paper, using documents, same element. It's not going to
Yeah.
change.
Yeah. I just got to wrap my head around that for every situation.
Yes, you do. You
Yeah.
do. that you are a living person. Like you don't have to put that on paper. They see you. You got a
Hmm.
birth certificate to prove somebody is living behind this certificate. What more do you want?
Hmm.
And they provided everything. Now, if you hate the way they do business, you don't like them, you hate the job, quit it. Get out of it. But if you turn 18 and you use that social security card, then you agree to the same contract that your parents did when they signed you up for it.
Yeah.
But if ever you hate any contract, find a way that it is extremely unfair, harsh, or oppressive, and you can get out of it. So if you don't want to be in contract with the United States, you want private plates, you want to control trust, all that, do it. You can do it if you want in the contract.
Yeah, I see. It's just I wasn't able to see the benefit until now. So yeah.
Yeah, it's a great benefit. The problem is they just know that while we're getting bills every single month, small payables, you have the United States who making millions off of us and they hate it. Well, learn how to make millions. Ain't nobody stopping you from making millions, but you can't stop them from making millions because you mad that you're not. And it's because of you.
Mhm.
You allowed it. You agreed to it.
Yeah.
Or
Yes.
at least somebody did on your behalf. But when you turn 18, a competent age to legally contract, you never said I don't want to. You use that to go to school or something, get a car, get an apartment. You use the credit. So you do want to contract. Now you're in it.
Mhm.
If you have a social security, like we got social security cards for our kids right now. If we never give it to them, like ever, then they never legally enter into a contract with the United States. They never used it. They entered into the contract with the United States by way of a representative. Us, we represent them.
Mm. Well, I didn't give my kids social security cards yet.
Okay, well, they just don't have any credit yet. That's all.
Hmm.
They don't have credit.
Don't they have credit from the birth certificate? Or I guess they can't claim it because they don't have the
Not if
birth
you ain't
card.
do nothing. Not if you didn't use that birth certificate to get them a credit card.
Oh, okay.
Like they get their very first credit card from us, and we done built up, or the United States, then built up so much money on it. By the time they turn 18 for 18 years, they can now use that credit card to go get whatever they want for personal, family, and
Mm,
household purposes.
I see. So I need to get their credit cards
Yeah,
now.
that would be dope. Let the United States start making all that bread up until they turn 62 or 65, and then when they get done, they can make a claim to the interest of all the dividends the U.S. done made.
Oh my gosh.
The
Yeah.
same thing we do right now when we get our bills.
Okay. Yeah, I gotta do that for them. I know. It's so crazy how, oh my gosh.
This concept never changes. Commerce and creating the medium of exchange, which is money, it never changes. It's everywhere.
The only thing I'm afraid of is like, okay, well, you didn't get the vaccine for like COVID or something or whatever's coming next. Okay.
My kids don't get no vaccines.
No, I know, but then what if they're like, well, this is like the fear. They're gonna you don't get the vaccines, then we shut off your credit. You can't eat, you don't have access to credit, so you can't go
They
get
can't.
food.
They can't do that to an individual human being. They
But they
can't
do
do
that
that. They can
they do that
alter
to a
how my
person.
kids don't get no shots, none since they've been born. I have a 12-year-old, a 9-year-old, and a 2-year-old who never been to the doctor since he was born. They
Really?
can't tell me what to do with my kids. I'm an
So
individual who represents them. I control them.
okay.
Regardless of them having a birth certificate and a credit card through the United States, I control them.
Okay.
I
And
control that account.
you've never put anything in the newspaper saying they're yours or claiming
Never.
them.
Why? I had them. They got birth certificates to prove they mine.
Hmm. Well,
I
some people
had
say
them.
that means that it proves that they're like of the state. You don't
I
own
mean,
your kids.
who cares? Who
Hmm.
cares? Nobody's gonna come and take them unless I'm doing wrong. And if I'm doing wrong, they should. That's what I'm saying. It's a lot of common sense things that are going on and that's happening, and people want to push back. And it's like,
Hmm.
these kids are mine. I control them. The doctor ain't seen Cass since he been born. They don't have to. My
Good.
kids go to school just like a regular kid with no shots.
Really? The schools take them?
Yes, all you have to do is go to the the school will give you a form. You take that form to the health department will fill it out, and then they can go to school.
Okay.
I didn't even have to do that. But if ever it's an issue, then that's all I would have to do. The school have forms available for children who aren't vaccinated. Because it's a thing. You don't have to vaccinate or any, they can't tell me what to do with something I had unless I've mishandled it.
Well, like Maya, remember back a couple years ago, they said if you don't get the vaccine, like your employer won't employ you anymore.
Exactly. I don't have a job.
I know, but those other people, like, what if,
And now what they saying? All them nurses who had to get the shot, now what they saying? Now you never had to get the shot. Now they lifted
yeah,
it. So if you let people,
true.
if you let
I
them
guess,
tell you what to do, then you let them tell you what to do. If you don't know how to handle commerce and get your money, then you are going to be afraid somebody take your job away.
okay, yeah, that's it. It's, you have to know how to handle in commerce, and you're
You
right. You
got
don't have a
to
job
know
because you
how
know
to
how to
be
handle in
an
commerce.
individual. As an
Yeah,
individual, you can't really tell me shit. And that's where you have the Moors acting like that. But it's like, no need to act like that. Powerful people, be humble. Like, just chill. But they can't tell me what to do with my kids unless I prove to be negligent. I'm not.
okay. So like passports and stuff, you don't care that you have like a regular passport?
I don't care at all. I live where I live. Why do I care? I want to go where I want to go when I can go. You need this contract in order for that to happen. All right, here. How else they gonna get paid for shuffling me around state to state for personal, family, and household use? How else? Where's the money gonna come from? Where the interest gonna rise at? In that passport. Not by just letting me go. They want to get paid.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
don't mind. Contracting, the element of contract never is gonna change. So I don't care who you dealing with a document with. Your element is based on the commercial code.
Wow.
Offer, acceptance, and consideration. And what you consider is up to you. By law, is your choice. What you choose. I
Okay.
choose to not get my kids vaccinated. Fuck, y'all sound stupid. Thinking y'all about to inject pierce my kids' skin to put something in their system, like they bloodstream, they flow? Because you saying they might could help? Like, no, that's unconscionable, and no judge is going to enforce that.
Okay, good. That's
That's oppressing you of your right to not have your kid vaccinated. It's unconscionable. We went over that in volume 1.
yeah. Okay.
So you have the information. You just really have to tune in. You have to
Yeah.
focus.
I have been. That's why it's like
You did do good too.
thank you. I'm really, really taking, I'm like immersing myself completely. I want
it's
to
like
be like a master for real.
It's
Like,
like everything you say you want to do, put it on your goal. Gather the information so that you can use the information to complete your goal and do the task. Other than that, you cannot. It's just a bunch of stuff you want to do.
yeah. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to get through these contracts. I get through this.
Girl, it's so easy. Like, it's so easy. It's ridiculous. So, what is diligence? We went over this the last time. This was the last question that we left
Mhm.
off on. And diligence is important because if you want to do what you want to do as an individual, all you have to do is be reasonable and competent. That's it. Reasonable and competent to represent your own kids. Reasonable and competent to control your own social security account that was assigned to you.
Mhm.
Be reasonable. You putting up a fight, that's not being reasonable. That's unreasonable for you to call me fraud and drag me into court. And I wasn't unconscionable to you in any way.
Mhm.
That's not being reasonable. And it's not showing your competence. It's showing that you may not understand what you agreed to. You agreed to set your kids up for life. You agreed to make your kids trust fund babies. You agreed to make sure your individual child has whatever it is they need for personal, family, and household use. Why
Mhm.
would you want to get out of that contract just like why would you want to get out of any other agreement you make with a seller for credit? Why? It's all for credit since 1933, since Social Security cards came about.
Mhm.
Everybody is reading that act and not even understanding what they're reading. It's not going to change. So we must be reasonable. We must observe, have diligence, and observe in the Uniform Commercial Code.
Mhm.
And we must be competent of it.
What
Be
does it mean?
knowledgeable of it.
What does it mean agents are hired by sellers?
So we're an agent and we deal with T-Mobile. T-Mobile hired us to make sure we receive this bill in the mail. We act reasonably and competent to know what we receive.
Ah,
We accept it for its value and we use it. They hire us. It's only when we fail that they go ahead and complete the job because
they
what an
fire
agent
us.
exactly. Exactly. We're fired.
Ah, okay.
We're fired. We create
Yes,
this
you're
employment
right.
and employee relationship.
Because that was the whole point of the contract is we take on this duty.
Exactly.
Okay.
Here we go. Speaking of duties, what is an agent's duty to the account? So, what are we talking about?
Well, it's like it says there that we keep the exchange going transfer.
So period. What is our duty to account? Each and every account that we have as an agent. I don't care
Pay
if we're dealing with our social security card. I don't care what account, whatever account you think an account is. As a
mm-hmm,
representative for that account, what is your duty?
to pay it
As an
at
agent, you
3%.
must, okay. Okay, I'll take that. As an agent, you must. There's no way around it. No way around it. You must do this as a representative for your kids and yourself. You must maintain and provide accurate account information. When you look into the agreements, when we get into your agreements, they're going to tell you you are responsible and must maintain your account information. They're letting you know that you could take on the role of an agent if you're responsible and you act reasonably and you're competent to maintain and provide accurate account information. Money, a medium of exchange. That's something that you must do. That's a duty that you have to an account, is to be competent to be able to accept that good for value and maintain your account by creating a medium of exchange with it,
Mm-hmm,
paying with it. You agree with the first
mm-hmm.
one?
Yes,
Okay. And that money can be cash money or money like, the medium of exchange.
negotiable instruments.
Exactly. Or you can use other property you have received or extended on behalf of the principal, like your bill. So you're going to use cash money is your duty to the account, or
Mm-hmm,
other property like your bills that you extended, that document that you extend on behalf of your consumer is your duty to the account. That's what I advise for you to do, because that's what you made an agreement with for the seller to do.
mm-hmm.
And you also have a duty to not commingle property. When they say commingling, oh my God, listen, what they're saying is you shouldn't be paying cash. If you pay cash and a check, you're commingling. We're
Mm-hmm.
not going to commingle with any other person's property. We're not going to commingle U.S. debt note, which is U.S. property, with your consumer property. We're not going to commingle the two.
Yes. So they just have these debt notes to satisfy us because we don't know how to use our commercial debt.
Exactly. Everybody want money. So here you go. Here's my money. Here's
Because
the
we're
U.S.
saying it wrong.
money.
We're not saying we want credit. We're saying we
Exactly.
want cash.
I don't want no cash. I'm not
Mm,
paying. They not even telling you to send them no cash. Your agreement say no cash. When you receive your bill, it say no cash, because you are not to pay cash and that instrument at the same time. Choose one. You
mm-hmm.
either gonna pay me cash or you gonna use that other property that I gave you to extend on behalf of your principal.
Good.
Either way it go, you gotta either way it go, you got a duty. Pay
Mhm.
any form of medium of exchange, but don't commingle the two.
Yeah,
That's your
either
duty. That's your
or.
duty to the contract.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you think about that? Like, elaborate for me and tell me your duty to any account that you have.
Pass that paper around.
Okay. Create that medium of exchange. And Article 9 of the Uniform Commercial Code is going to tell you that's what happened.
Mm-hmm.
The documents. This is why 15 USC 1605 says cash isn't comparable. Because if you
Mm-hmm.
pay cash, you're commingling.
Yes, but now you're right. What do you do with all the cash?
They
Well,
take it and they invest whatever their personal property or business is. Like, whatever they want to do, they get to invest it. Help
mm,
their business grow. Help themselves. That's what the bank do. That's what anybody do who you give them cash. Literally. Or don't, or choose not to commingle it with your transactions and turn your cash into credit. Or keep the cash. It's gonna be an antique after a while.
I know.
Like, for real. The true antique.
I
And that's
know.
what's gonna make it worth something, because it's been so extinct.
Wow.
They switching everything online so that they can't strictly deal with the dead people.
Wow.
Like, don't put no individual writing on this document. Don't show me a live person. Just let's keep it between the dead people and make them fill out their applications and everything online.
Wow.
Let's keep this corporation a corporation, entity to
Mm-hmm.
entity, and never involve the individual, because technically the individual do not belong into commerce, and then you have individuals cussing them out because they won't give them the application to handwrite.
Exactly. Oh my gosh. Because we're supposed to get the application number so we can go sit.
Exactly. Like, what are you fighting about?
Wow.
Like, why do you want to enter into commerce when the law say you not to enter into commerce, and then you got all these people suing because they have entered into commerce? Like, make up your mind. They gonna cover
Well,
themselves. So now
yeah.
do it electronically,
Yes, I have to go after. There's a lot of unauthorized use of my credit card I have to go after.
or is it unauthorized?
It is. They said I was pre-approved. I swiped and then I got denied.
Dang, really? What they do? They made a mistake?
I think well, that's just their way of business. It's fraudulent.
Oh, that's
Like,
ghetto.
because
Look,
I've seen other people leave reviews saying I was pre-approved, but then when I swiped, I got denied, and there's no way I would have done it if I had known I was going to be denied. Like,
oh,
duh.
it's about to be a lawsuit coming against them pretty soon. I can
Um,
feel it. With all the consumers having a problem, the consumers gonna come together and all complain with the CFPB, and then they gonna sue them. The
yeah.
FTC gonna sue them.
Mm-hmm.
They need the complaints first.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna.
Complaining to the wrong person. They complaining to the person who not gonna tell on themselves.
Yeah.
You need to go to the FTC because the FTC governs what sellers do with our consumer credit contracts.
The
Tell
holders. So
them.
then, what's the point of CFPB?
Because they just care about you actually using credit. If you never received your credit, then they care. But you always receive your credit.
Yeah.
So they don't care about none of that stuff they talking about. That is to protect the consumer credit. If for every reason your credit wasn't protected, then they care. Other than that, people just complaining to them for no reason. They got the wrong person.
For real. Oh my gosh. I feel.
Wrong.
And now I see everything, and I'm like, this is so unnecessary.
Yeah. A lot of stuff that people doing is just showing that like you is miserable or you mad or you not happy or something is missing with you. Like,
Yeah.
why are you acting like that?
Get happy. You're
That's
right.
something, right? Get happy. So, what is an agent's fiduciary duty? You got people telling them that they breached their fiduciary duty. If agent and principal mirror each other, if they breach their fiduciary duty, then you breached your fiduciary duty.
Yeah.
You got to stop name calling and pointing the finger because if you point the finger, it's a finger pointing back at you. That's the real thing due
Wow.
to the principal agent relationship.
Mm-hmm.
So, what is an agent? And notice that there is an S after it because there's going to be more than one person who can take on the role of an agent due to the mirroring. If these people are saying that these sellers breach their fiduciary duty, then that makes them the agent. If they made payment to you, then they didn't breach no fiduciary duty because that's what agents do, make payment.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we take on the role as an agent when we decide to accept the goods so that we can make payment.
Mm-hmm.
So fiduciary duties are the most important rule or duty. It is more important than just the basic general duties that an agent may have to the principal or vice versa. The fiduciary duty is way more important because it is based upon trust. If I trust you and my goods have been entrusted to you, my credit has been in my account has been entrusted to you, then you have a fiduciary duty to make sure that you, one, avoid conflict of the interest. We should not be fighting over interest.
Mm-hmm.
It's our job as an agent and their job as an agent to avoid conflict of interest. We are to also avoid self-dealing. So here's why they won't take it back. Like, look, I can't self-deal for my own benefit. I must include another person. I need you. So I'm going to make sure that I avoid conflict of interest and make sure I send it to you
Mm-hmm.
unpaid so that when I do send you the good, it's worth something.
Mm-hmm.
We also have a fiduciary duty not to compete with the principal. We're not competing with nobody. And as an individual, we for sure not competing with nobody, but we aren't to compete with the consumer or the seller if we consider them to be a principal. No agent should be competing with the principal.
Mm-hmm.
It's PAL at the end of that, PAL. So y'all are friends.
Mm-hmm.
We're not going to compete with our friends. We also want to avoid misappropriation. Unauthorized, improper, or unlawful use of funds, that is breaching of fiduciary duty. And misappropriation, that is something that we're definitely going to hit to when it comes to using a good and we get into the law and we start reading the contracts and things like that, because misappropriation is the reason why people getting denied. They can't distinguish who the agent and who the principal. It's a misappropriation on who's the benefit.
Mm-hmm.
So they confused. So I'm definitely going to take you to the law on that so you can see all of the ways that you can misappropriate, which is basically misidentify yourself.
Mm.
We know that we're going to be dealing with somebody who is unauthorized and may have the opportunity to unlawfully use our funds whenever we misappropriate ourselves. When we breach our fiduciary duty, they get to go ahead and do what they got to do with our funds.
Mm-hmm.
We also must maintain confidential information. You are responsible. All of our agreements, you're going to read, you are responsible for maintaining your account. And then after that, they tell you all of the information that they're going to be collecting and managing for your account. Then they tell you that they're going to report it to the credit bureaus if they have to. They're telling you how they're going to be responsible for maintaining your confidential information. But how are you going to be responsible for maintaining that confidential information and make sure that there is an unauthorized use of it? You have to understand who you are so that you don't breach a fiduciary duty to yourself, the individual. You pay cash, that's unlawful. That's a misappropriation of funds. Why would you pay cash when you're an individual who everything is free and you don't have to compete with the principal? And you don't have to self-deal by giving up your cash, causing a conflict of interest because now they get to claim it.
Mm.
We also want to avoid financial benefit unless it's agreed in a contract. And that's what you're going to see in a lot of contracts. They're going to let you know that they're going to have the right to transfer, sell,
Mm-hmm.
do things that's going to allow them to benefit. It's going to be agreed upon. If ever they do something to benefit that's not agreed upon, then now you have a breach of fiduciary duty. But you're definitely going to see in your agreements that you can pay with cash or credit, and a lot of them.
Mm-hmm.
So we want to make sure that we uphold our fiduciary duty as an agent. If we know our duties as an agent, then we know anybody else's. So what are you responsible for? What is your fiduciary duty? Due to trust. 6 things. Do not conflict interest. Do not avoid it. It's not a conflict of interest. Everybody gonna get a chance to benefit. For that reason, you want to avoid self-dealing. It's not just about self. You must share. We are in a partnership. Everything is uniform. Together. Oneness. Unity. So you want to avoid trying to be selfish. You want to avoid competing with your principal. You never want to avoid competing with the principal, and you want to make sure that you always stand up and identify yourself so there's no misappropriation on who's authorized to benefit and who's not. If I give up or if you give up those cash monies, then it's a misappropriation on who is actually supposed to benefit from those funds. It's you. So you're supposed to make sure that you maintain your confidential information because that account number allows for a direct access to credit to your trust for whatever it is that the individual behind it need for personal, family, or household use. So because of that access, they must and we must be responsible for maintaining our confidential information. And we want to avoid benefit or, for as an agent unless it is agreed.
Mm-hmm.
So any thoughts? Tell me how you feel. Elaborate to me, on what you feel about this fiduciary duty and you having it. And then knowing that if you have these duties, then any other person who you enter into an agreement with also has these same duties. The thing is, they actually make theirs known on a document. We just
Mm-hmm.
don't. It's kind of assumed that we'll take on the same role.
Mm-hmm. I guess it's powerful in knowing because they don't tell us this, so we don't know. But we have the same powers as they have. We just have to know how to claim it.
Exactly. We have to know how to work in that capacity. We have to
Yeah.
know when we have to turn our head the other way and not acknowledge something so that this medium of exchange can happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And the only way to do that is by not being selfish, not self-dealing. When you receive that good in the mail and you receive that value for whatever the price is, you should be happy you received it. You should be happy to give it to somebody else,
Mm-hmm.
especially somebody who can use it.
Mm-hmm.
You're doing a good thing. And then not only that, from you doing that good thing, you getting somebody else paid and you benefit. Everybody happy.
Yeah, I'm so excited to get to my bills and others. Oh my gosh.
Ooh, but them things is gonna do you in. They so good.
Oh.
So, what is an agency relationship? The agency relationship is a concept, and the concept of the relationship is one of a principal and an agent. These are the identifying parties when it comes to creating this agency relationship once an agreement has been initiated.
Mhm.
It brings about the concept of principal and agent. The principal controls the agency relationship. That consumer, it controls the agency relationship. And if the seller we're in business with is also taking on the role of the principal, they control how or who we must deliver that good to.
Mhm.
They give us the instruction. They control that part. They tell us who we should deliver to. And as a consumer, we control the whole relationship. We either in it or we out it. We create it. We initiate it. The agent, it carries out the duties. That fiduciary duty up top and all of those general duties from the agent to the principal. The
Mhm.
agent must carry out those duties at the principal's instructions on behalf of the principal. The seller we're in business with is selling us a document for us to represent, for us to use, and we are to make sure that we carry out the duties and follow the instructions to pay to another so that they benefit by
Yeah.
receiving the price.
Now, when we sign it, we become principal, and the whoever we send it to becomes the agent now. They have to.
Exactly, because they want to use that promissory note to send to a bank so that they benefit and they get the full price.
Yes.
And then when we receive our bill in the mail, the roles change. Now we're the agent and they're the principal. And
Yep.
we hmm because that it mirrors what they can do,
Mhm.
we can do. It's either you're gonna do it on a bigger scale of equity when you get all of those dividends, or you're gonna be receiving a small amount. What position are you in? There's gonna be cases where you are in a position like with T-Mobile and Verizon, they're like, look, we'll take that application, we can initiate it once we activate this thing, and I become the agent and I get my money. Since I give you a copy, you could go ahead and be the agent and you can give me that whole thing back. You got 30 days to do it. What you want to do?
Mhm.
If not, then I'll keep being the agent until I present you your bills every month and then we'll switch titles.
Yeah.
We transfer titles by transferring these documents. Whatever the transfer could do before they transferred it to you, you can also do once you accept it.
Mhm.
So how you feel? What you thinking?
I feel good.
Okay. So what is an agency? An agency is a consensual mutual agreement. It authorizes the agent to act on behalf of the principal that is subject to a principal's control. We have or you have control of a principal, and so does the seller. Because there's someone who is representing that business that has control of that business. They have his own agent. That person is never specified until that person decides that we didn't claim our credit and then they go ahead and
Mhm.
sign.
Yeah.
But this agency, this principal agent relationship, when we initiate an agreement, that is a mutual agreement that we take on this agency. We take on the principal agent relationship with one another and we transfer titles in order to keep creating the medium of exchange. It
Yeah.
isn't to stop until the contract ends. What is the purpose of this agency? What is the purpose of agent and principal? The purpose of creating an agency is so that business activities may be accomplished through another. So it's no question. The Uniform Commercial Code promotes business. Anytime you contract, it's business. It don't matter if it's personal business or your business. It's business. You're using documents to do it. So it's no question of, can I use this for my business credit card? Like, did you receive a document for it? That's not a question. That's not a logical or reasonable question to ask someone who's competent.
Mhm.
Because if you know commerce, then you know you initiated agreement. That's all you need to know.
Wow. So yeah, it's we're not the agent. We have an agent taking on that role.
We are the agent for our consumer. We represent that consumer.
Okay. Yeah.
And there's someone who represents the business. And when we initiate an agreement with the seller, we represent one another. Literally. This seller represents me and I represent them. And we both must have conduct and diligence and obedience when dealing with these documents and good faith. How you feeling? What you thinking?
No, like, I get it. We're agents for the principal. But like a lot of times, I guess I was thinking agent for the principal. The principal was the all caps name.
That's cool. The principal is the all caps name.
It
That's the
is. That's
consumer.
true. But yeah, yeah. Now I'm thinking also the seller is the principal at one point. Like at one point, everyone's everything.
Because we transfer titles. Yes, yes, 100%. For as long as you bear the document, you transfer the title. So yeah, 100%.
Okay, so we don't misspeak if we at any stage we call them something that they're not at that stage because they still technically are.
Exactly.
Okay.
You just want to be sure in what position you acting in, so you make sure you don't call them you
Mhm.
and give them your rights. Because you don't want, you said that agent, all right, well, I'm representing them.
Mhm.
So instead of personally completing the task, you allow another one to act on your behalf. That's the purpose of creating this principal agent relationship. So that when we have a task at hand,
Mhm.
any one of us can handle it. You can act on my behalf and you can act on, and I can act on your behalf so that we both benefit.
Mhm.
Because as an individual person, a living being, you do not enter into commerce and you owe no debts.
Mhm.
So we must create this principal agent relationship because the individual that's involved can't enter. They can only co-sign for that all caps name. That's it.
Mhm.
I can't charge you anything. I can't say you owe anything, nothing, because you're free. You represent yourself as free. So whatever you represent also gets things for free. So we're going to base it on credit. They'll get it for free on credit. And the individual who represents them is responsible to make sure that they pay. What do they pay with? A negotiable instrument, a non-cash payment, something that belongs to them, a consumer note, not something that belongs to the US, a debt note. Like, no,
Mhm.
we owe no debts. We owe no cash. No cash money. We owe no cash money as an individual. As an individual, we owe consumer notes to another person to act on our behalf.
Mhm.
So how you feel? What you thinking?
It's really just about knowing, really, like you said, knowing who you are and how it affects you because that's really it.
That's it. As an individual, you hold yourself out of any of
Yeah.
that business, all of that business. Like, you are able to be on the outside looking in. But
Yeah.
sometimes
Really
people are
just
so entangled that they feel like they in it.
yes. But oh my God, yeah, I'm just thinking of
But when
applying
you
this in
walk up and
every
look in that mirror, that person you see in the mirror is not in commerce at all. You right there. You are not, or we are as a people are no longer being traded for a price.
Mhm.
Thank God. So we don't get into that business. Now before when they was slave trading, oh, we was in that business.
Well, if you're not knowledgeable, you are. You are
In
in
a
this.
way. Yeah. By reflection.
Wow. Yes. No, but some people get caught up. I mean, they're paying, they're slaves to the debt that they have because they don't know that they can pay with paper.
They don't know that they're individual. They don't feel like they're individual. They don't understand that the person in the mirror is not being transferred on a document. That's not movable property. You're not movable property. Like 100%. We was when they was bidding for us, but that's done. They found the better way. They put it on paper.
Exactly. They moved it. It's digital now.
Thank you. Digital slavery is whooping people ass.
That's it. Yes.
They still got a shackled and chained because we're not knowledgeable.
Exactly. Oh my gosh.
Man, I'm so grateful. Like all the stuff people talk about, like how their ancestors did this, they fought for freedom for this. This is what they talking about. This is that freedom.
I know. Oh my gosh. Like I was trepidating getting my kids their social cards because I didn't feel like I know how to manage it, but now I feel like I can do it.
Now you're getting the skill to manage that account, sis.
Yeah.
Like keep getting that, keep gaining that. That's the debt you owe to them as an individual to learn this information so that you set them free.
Yes. I'm on that mission.
That's the
Definitely.
only reason why I got in it.
Yeah. No,
For
for
real.
real.
And I wasn't wise enough like you were to not make the decision to get my kids a social security card because my mama got it for me.
Mm-hmm.
So I had no choice but to learn how to use what I had already signed them up for.
Mm-hmm. amazing though. Good job.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. And now I'm able to help somebody like you make that choice. Like, do I want to?
Mm.
All right, yeah, I do. And this is why. You're wise about why you want to do it versus like me, forced into it.
But see, that was good.
It
That
was.
made pressure makes diamonds. That's what I always.
And that's what I'm saying. Everybody got to chill because you're all you
Yeah.
need.
Yes, thank you, Kamai. I really needed this because, like, just coming from all these other people I'm meeting and learning, and I'm just so sick of it and tired of it. And I'm just like, I just want to give in. But, like, this
Yeah.
makes me feel good to give in. Like, it's okay as long as you know who you are.
Right. And as soon as you feel like you want to give in, that should be your sign to keep pushing, keep going
Yeah.
forward because it's something great on the other side, or else you would have never got on the path.
Yeah. No, I'm like, yeah.
You just gotta
This
have a
is
proper
the final
guidance.
destination. Now I don't need to find anything else because it's
You
all
sure
right
don't.
here.
It's all right in the mirror. So get to know that person. Start loving that person. Start caring more about that person because we represent a couple of other little persons. So we got to get right for them. And we're not going to get right for them by making sure we collect a lot of US debt notes because it's property of
No.
the state.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I'm so excited.
Good. Me too. Look, every time I talk to somebody and they say they getting it, I'm excited because I got it. And I'm like, y'all can do it. Y'all can do it. And but like you just said, people are
Mhm.
experiencing a lot of different teachings. So it play on the mental a lot.
It
And
does.
it do makes it becomes a little clogged and cloudy and unorganized and all over the place.
Yeah. But yeah, I gotta relax and just
Yeah, just
chill.
relax, just chill. Know it's everything you want, write that goal down. You cannot get to the goals until you complete the task.
Yes.
You can do it. You got a clear vision.
Yeah, I gotta clear my credits report. I'm on the consumer reporting class. I gotta work on that too.
It's going to come natural as a representative to the consumer. Why are you worried about a consumer report when you're an individual? Why?
It's affecting me in
Okay, so once you get the information, you're going to learn how to represent that consumer so that report looks great for the consumer.
okay.
Other than that, you don't know. That's what you're going through right now.
Yeah.
Put it down on your goal list and
Mhm.
get the information so that you can read your report, just like you're going to be able to read these contracts and agreements and know what you need to do.
Exactly. Yes, that's what I want to do. I'm taking notes. I'm going back and taking note stage now.
Just stay focused. Trust the process. You see by this point that you've been on the right path. So
Yeah. Now,
just stick with it.
oh, I am. I'm 100%. You haven't had any issues like you have all your bills, like you know how to handle everything, right?
Yeah, and I make it easy and simple for me too. I'm running Navy Federal to the ground. I'm working on getting a black card.
Ah, I want that. Okay.
Yeah, I'm working on doing that because if for now I have an accepted credit card that's worth the same amount as my account, then I'm good.
Yes.
So I'm running everything. I don't have no problem. I have no business problems.
Amazing.
None. I
I want to
represent
be.
my consumer good because I have great conduct and obedience.
Okay, yes. I'm so excited. Ah.
So, what other legal relationship? So, this principal and agent relationship is a legal relationship. This is a
Mhm.
thing. So, what other legal relationship arise from that type of agency? Employment relationships and independent contractors. A merchant must hire a seller as well as yourself. We may both be considered to be a merchant. When we create this principal agent relationship, we create an employment relationship, employer employee, with the person we're in business with. That's the buyer seller relationship. Then we go out and we hire this third party, this merchant, this independent contractor, somebody who had nothing to do with the initiation of our agreement, the
Mhm.
hiring of the buyer and seller. We go out and we seek this independent contractor, a merchant, somebody who can trade what me and the buyer or me and the seller agree to exchange with one another or
They're not
transfer.
wait, the independent contractor, isn't that the financial institution? Or is it?
Yeah, yep.
Okay.
Because they're not a part of your agreement. They're not a part of, or they wasn't there when you made the agreement with the seller.
Okay, I thought I heard you say merchant. Is that correct too?
Well,
Or
yeah, well, a merchant is going to act as a financing agency.
oh, okay.
Yeah, they're going to act as it's going to become between merchants. So it's going to be a financial agency and us because we are an independent contractor. We are an individual who
Mhm.
represents a consumer. And when we decide
Um,
to deliver our good, it's going to be between merchants, between that merchant and us, two independent contractors.
you're right. That's why the accounting we're responsible for.
Thank you. That's why we are to manage it.
Yes, everyone's an independent contractor.
In a way, yeah, for sure. Because you got to think about when we got our application from them, they created it how they wanted to.
Yeah.
So yeah, we all gonna take on the same roles. It's just when are we in that position? That's the question.
Wow. Yeah.
So we have this employment relationship between the seller and buyer that
Mhm.
makes way for this independent contractor. So what is the employment relationship? The employment relationship is one in which the employer, the one who hired another, has the right to control the manner in which the means that the employee, the person who is hired, perform. Our
Mhm.
sellers has the control over how we perform when we receive our good. They tell us to send it to somebody else and they tell us how.
Mhm.
These sellers are the employer, and us as the buyer, one who is hired to do a job, we are the employee.
Mhm.
We are to perform. We are to do exactly what we agreed to do with that seller because that's what we were hired to do. That's
Mhm.
our job. That's the only job we got. Enter into contracts and perform. That's it. That's our job. We don't need a job, and that job pays well.
Exactly. If we do it right, we don't need another job.
We don't need another job. You got a job. Work
Yeah.
for yourself. Work for the individual.
Oh my gosh.
And you do that each and every time you receive a document in your hand. You work for that person based on how the employer say you must perform to the agreement. Simple.
Mm-hmm.
That principal agent relationship gave you a job. Now you got a job. Everybody got a job. People just fell in to do their job. That's
Yeah.
the truth. They don't understand that they was hired to do something. Then you have the sovereign who like, shit, I'm an independent contractor. You can't hire me to do nothing. You're not controlling what I do.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm not that mad.
They're independent contractors with an attitude.
Right. And they independent contractors naturally. Like, what?
Yeah.
Chill.
Wow. Yeah, Kamaya. Oh my gosh.
Like, chill and be the IN independent and relax. Like, relax, breathe, feel free, scrunch your shoulders up to your ears real tight and let it go. Breathing sometimes is not as easy as people may think it is.
Mm-hmm.
But just breathe, like breathe, like inhale, exhale, scrunch them shoulders up to them ears and let it go. Tense up to let go for real.
Mm-hmm.
So, what is an independent contractor? An independent contractor is a person who contracts with another to do a particular job. So, these financial agencies, these merchants contract with us to do a particular job. That job is going to be one that is not subject to agreement and the control that you have with the seller. The seller isn't going to do what the financing agency or the merchant is going to do. They are hired to do a particular job. We participate in the buy and sell, and they trade. We go out and find that third party for this particular job. And these sellers come out and find, and these banks come out and find people to do a particular job. So independent contractors are hired for a peculiar skill that they have, and that's being able to trade. For us, that's being able to exchange. Independent contractors is not subject to another person's control. So if we go and we initiate this agreement with the seller, the merchant is not under the control of the seller. Not at all. When they the one who gave them money, that person has a duty to have a certain amount of conduct so that they can work with that person. And that's making sure you receive your bill every single month. That's how they conduct themselves. How do you feel? What are you thinking?
I'm feeling good. I feel like I really have to apply this in just every facet and just chill.
Yeah. Yeah, you got it. Focusing on the information because what you have is a true asset. These videos, true
True
assets.
asset. No, you're right. I know. No,
Like
you're.
for real. Like if we go and pass on and transition to another life, our kids are gonna watch these videos.
Mm-hmm.
They straight. All we will hope they do is sit down, just like our ancestors did, and hope we read. Sit down and look at the video, please. It's
Mhm.
right there. Please look. Please look. Open your eyes. I left you straight. Please look.
Mhm.
So it's our job as being living beings and representative for them, just to guide them this way. Introduce them to it. They're gonna do what they want to do as an individual.
Mhm.
But here's everything y'all need. Go survive. Go live. Go be free. Go do whatever an individual do. What can you do? Now they can figure it out. Figure that part out, not figure out how to pay something, but figure out who you are. Why are you here? What's your purpose? What you want to do? What can you bring to the table?
Mhm.
What do you offer that the world can accept or at
Mhm.
least consider?
Yeah.
So we're gonna make this our last question. How is an agency relationship created? An agency relationship is created by the creation of an agreement, a contract. So whenever we do initiate an agreement and it's activated with a seller, this relationship automatically creates. The principal and agent must have contractual capacity to enter into this agency agreement. So that means that we're both going to be of age. We both going to be able to make an agreement. 18. That's when we first are able to give our kids their social security cards and they can go out into the world and do what they want.
Mhm.
Because now they have legal capacity to contract with another, make a contract or agreement, agree to pay. Now they can do that. Because hopefully they have been trained for 18 years.
Yes, but people are saying like you're still a minor if you don't take over your accounts.
I mean, yeah, if you working privately, I'm not no minor. I'm independent individual. I have the representative, somebody who I'm representing is a minor. The consumer is a minor. I'm not a minor. I'm grown.
Mhm.
I'm an individual that's 32 years old. I
Oh,
represent somebody who is a minor. That all caps name. It's dumb. It's dead.
yes, that's why we control it.
Exactly. If it was like me, we wouldn't need it. But it's
Mhm.
not. So that is the minor that they're dealing with. So because they are dealing with the minor, I am supposed to represent that minor with the most obedience conduct and
Mhm.
the utmost trust.
Mhm.
Supposed to make sure it pay because
Mhm.
it's a minor.
Mhm.
And then you have the concept is never going to change. You
Mhm.
are an individual. That's never going to change unless you die. Unless you're dead or incapacitated, you're going to be a living human being, an individual.
Mhm.
That can't be scored, that can't be ranked, that can't be deemed to be property. Not anymore. You are who you say you are. You are what you say you are.
Mhm.
How you act can constitute something different, though. So it's important to have obedience and conduct. Both parties must consent or at least agree to the agency relationship.
Mhm.
It's going to happen voluntarily or involuntarily. It's created the moment you initiate the contract, whether
Yeah,
you know it or not.
exactly.
Consideration is not a necessarily element of this agency relationship. You
Mhm.
receive your bill in the mail, it's not necessary that you consider it to be something for value.
Mhm.
Not an element. You can
Clearly
be
not.
an agent. I'm sorry.
I said clearly not. Otherwise,
Right.
we wouldn't be here.
Swear to God. You could be an agent without receiving payment from the principal. Never. When we do businesses with these sellers, that principal is never going to receive payment from us, ever.
Mhm.
We're giving it to somebody else, a third party.
Mhm.
If the relationship is more than 1 year, then agreement has to be in writing. We all know that. Whenever we initiate a contract with another person, we know that it has to be in writing and if it's going to be over 12 months.
Mhm.
POAs, they are used to give provisions. They are used to give provisions to how an agent may operate. A power of attorney is for the individual, and a power of authority is for the seller. Whenever you're in agreement for more than 1 year, you have an option. Go on and let them know who the agent is and put it on file. I'm the agent until the contract ends. Or don't. You have an option. If you go and search any of these sellers, Navy Federal, Capital One, Credit One, anybody, I bet you can search a POA form to let them know who's going to be acting as the agent to put them in the place of a principal, to switch the disposition if you want to. That's what a POA is for. So it's not nothing fancy or nothing to be scared of. No different than when our parents get old and we take power over them, we're going to fill out a POA. So they'll know that we represent our parent. Whatever decision my parent need to make, I'm authorized to make it for them. Because they can't. So it creates the principal agent relationship at that point as well, or it makes it known that this one particular person is appointed to represent another.
Mhm.
So any last thoughts, any last words, anything like that you want to elaborate on?
No, I get it.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to have an assignment for you real soon, but I'm going to allow you to catch up from our last meeting and this meeting first.
Oh, okay, no problem. I'm gonna do that today and tomorrow. So great.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing and stop the recording so it can download.